Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dan Owolabi podcast. It is good to see you because we are in the middle of a great conversation with a guy I think you're going to want to know. Now, if you're tuning into the podcast, the number one reason why you're here is because you're a leader and you want to make a difference in your community. You want to make a difference in your company. You want to make a difference in the world, and you understand the challenge of leading people. Our guest today is Derek Young, DY. DY is an incredible leader. He has spoken to over 500,000 people in over 10,000 engagements all over the world. This guy really knows what he's talking about. And his main focus, and we'll get into it a little bit, but his main focus is all about feedback, how to really help people understand the value of feedback, give feedback that genuinely helps, and then use feedback to drive progress in your organization. And I think if you're a leader, you understand what it looks like to have terrible feedback. You've had moments when feedback has gone horribly wrong, both on your end and then somebody delivering it to you. And so this is going to be an incredible episode. What I love most about DY is the idea that his motto is very close to my heart, where it's God first, others second, and then your dreams third. So we're going to get into all of that, his personal history, how he started to understand the value of feedback and what feedback can do for your leadership and how it can help accelerate your progress. So DY, thanks for jumping on the show.
Dan, I'm excited, and anybody who decided to author a book and call it authentic leadership is my kind of people. So glad to be here.
Oh, I'm telling you, calling the book Authentic Leadership, it was a great, idea at first. But when you do that, the rest of your life now, like people are checking to see how authentic you are. Like there's no more pretending, no more pretense. You know what I mean? So let's get into the top of things. I think, people, they'll look you up on YouTube and they'll see all kinds of videos. They'll see your keynotes. They'll see you making an impact all over the globe. But one of the things that I think oftentimes people miss whenever they're admiring speakers from a distance is your backstory.
Right.
Where you're from. What I want to do is I really want to understand, when did you start to understand the value of feedback? Tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get here, and why is that so stinking important to you?
Boy, that's good. I often tell people, Dan, and sometimes I have to ask my younger friends or audience members to Google this, but you remember the show, The Jeffersons?
Absolutely, yeah.
Remember that show?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Moving on up.
100%,
right?
100%, yeah.
The maid, Marla Gibbs played the character of the maid, Florence.
Okay.
Florence's persona was very similar to my mother's persona.
Mine too.
You get that?
Yeah,
You know
absolutely. Yeah,
okay. Strong.
Tell you like it is.
Yep. My mother was not highly educated, but she was extremely intelligent, very principled person. And similar to the character, my mom was not a speech giver. She was a point maker. There's a million of these, but the ones that are relevant to what we're talking about right now, one day my grandmother, I was raised by my mother and my grandmother.
Yep.
My grandmother had made a PB&J, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And now some people know how to slap peanut butter and jelly on a bread, but some people know how to make a PB&J.
Yeah, right.
I was getting ready to tear into this sandwich. My mother is washing dishes, and she turns. Now remember, I'm 4 years old. She turns and says, "Listen here, boy, whatever you do, don't be a complainer, because it don't work and people will hate you." And she said another thing. Not everybody's going to like you. Damn.
You're 4 years old. Come on, man. That's when people tell you that you're special. You're like, oh, come on, you're beautiful.
Fluffy.
She's like, people are going to hate you.
People are not going to like you. And you're not going to like everybody.
That's good, man.
So you need to get everybody to respect you, and you need to respect everybody. And she said another thing, when you turn 18, you're going to have to be on your own. So you're going to need to go to college.
Jesus Christ. That's like 12 years away.
We never discuss college ever again. Ever again. Well, I got it honest. But what I had, and I give God all the glory for this, I had an ability as a young person to look around me. I remember one time I was 5, I had a bit of an epiphany where I went outside our little unit and I started comparing myself to some of the people that lived around us. And in my mind, at 5, I was going, I got it better than them. I got it better than them. I got it better than them. And I said these words out loud, man, at 5. Why would I mess that up? So for whatever reason, I was seeing what that hard, honest, direct feedback was doing for me, right? And when I got to high school, I started high school at 12 years old, and I'll tell you why. My mother read 8 books every 2 weeks. so I could read at 4. Back in the old days, you always started school after Labor Day, and my birthday is in September. So when school starts, day after Labor Day, I'm 4 years old. My mother's like, the boy is at home reading, see Spot run, see Jane run. Let this boy in school. So I started school a year early. So that's why I started high school at 12.
That's good.
But when I got to high school, I went to an all-boys college prep, predominantly white high school, and I was 100% black, the whole thing.
You were?
And what I saw was it's not even about where you're from. It's what you do with what you have.
Right. That's good.
But it's hard to do well if you're not willing to hear people's honest opinion of you. Now, if we had a sensitive contest, me and you, like where there was a sensitiveometer in here, it wouldn't even be close. I tell you, stay at the crib. I'm probably the most sensitive person you've ever met. But Dan, I've never seen somebody be great without honest feedback. Muhammad Ali had Angelo Dundee. Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson. Serena Williams had Patrick Mouratoglou. You're not going to be great without that honesty. Without, hey man, you came off a little heavy in staff meeting today. You might want to walk that back a little bit.
Right.
So I got it honest from my mother.
Wow.
And then having such a quick culture shift between the Blue Mire Housing Project, where I grew up, and a school where I'm going to school with the mayor's son, the sons of CEOs, I had to get real about how I came off to people. So that's where it really started. And
when you say real about how you came off to people, what do you mean by that?
so I grew up being blunt.
Right.
Kind of couldn't.
Because your
help
mom. That's what works.
Couldn't help it.
Right.
That's what I knew.
Yeah.
Hey, do I look good in this dress?
No.
That ain't you.
No. You're ugly.
And I wasn't even being mean.
Right. I'm just telling the truth.
Just ask me.
You need the honesty truth. Yeah.
Well, I learned you're not going to win friends and influence people. Being blunty make blunt. And then being fake is, I tried to be fake one time in 1998, and I was like a cat with a fur. I can't do it. So what I learned is you got to be wise. That's the word in the middle. And the way I define wisdom is knowing what God wants you to do, when he wants you to do it, how he wants you to do it, and with whom he wants you to do it.
That's fair.
Now, you might laugh at some jokes you don't think are that funny, but you got to realize some people are laughing at some of your jokes that aren't that funny either. So it's where you begin to understand that you got to, in the words of the great American poet, Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them for short-term and long-term effectiveness.
Gotcha.
Because that's a relationship. I could write them out. I could be so right it would blow their mind, but they'd be embarrassed.
Wow.
And because I know they're insecure, that embarrassment is going to come back and get back on me later.
Wow.
And I'm going to need them later.
Wow.
So I'll go ahead and let them win this round, right? So I saw that mostly when I went to college, because I went to school 2 years younger than everybody, going in blunt, man. And I had two older brothers, if you will, Reggie Scott, Rob Partee.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to a school called Rockhurst College, small Jesuit liberal arts school in Kansas City, Missouri. Well, these two guys were a year ahead of me in high school, so they were like my big brothers. I watched those guys navigate college like chess masters.
Wow.
They were experiencing the same things as me. They grew up similarly. They had things in common with me, but they knew how not to say everything they thought. They knew how not to correct that faculty member. They knew how not to right? So I started watching and learning, dude, you need to have a little stick shift game here.
Right. Yeah.
So that's really where I really started to actualize that understanding. And then when I started my career as an internal auditor, 20-year-old internal auditor at the Federal Reserve Bank, my first boss, I don't know if he's still alive. I won't use his name because the world is small, but my first boss, I learned a lot about knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, because there was not a level of safety there where I felt if I say what I really feel, it won't be good for him and it definitely won't be good for me. So that's where I learned how this works in a business setting.
Yeah.
Then as an auditor.
Well, let me back up a second. So here's something I think is really interesting. A lot of people, when they're at, 12 years old and they're put into a situation where they don't have commonality with anyone else around them. They
Right.
feel isolated. They're in a different situation. It's a cross-cultural situation.
Mm-hmm.
At that age, a lot of people freeze,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of people become somebody totally different.
Boy, that's
They posture, they pretend, they whatever. And it feels like you didn't do that. It feels like you genuinely learned more about yourself, you learned more about the people around you, and you found authentic ways to connect with them as opposed to pretending. Like, a lot of people at that age, what they'll do is they'll grab onto some sort of like thing. Like, I'm a soccer player.
persona.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't sound like you did that.
Boy,
And
that's
I'm wondering
good.
why not.
That's really good. I don't know Ryan Clark. I've never met him. I enjoy watching him on TV, but he basically just said on his Pivot show, I was not true to Ryan Clark all that time I was at ESPN, and he fired me anyway. Those are his words.
Wow.
So that's why.
Did he say that?
Oh, yeah, he did.
No joke.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
And I think that's why the title of your book really got me. I've pretty much been like this since
Right.
I was 10 years old.
And it feels like you stumbled into it.
It's
Like, how did you?
kind of how I roll.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, I don't think. For me, I know I have nothing but love in my heart for people. I know even if you misinterpret what I'm saying, I know I'm saying it to be a blessing to you. I'm saying it. I don't believe in constructive criticism. That's an oxymoron. I don't believe in negative feedback. That's an oxymoron. It's constructive feedback. And when I know my heart is right for you, when I went to St. Louis Shoe High, I could be friends with anybody because my mother and grandmother raised me to be a secure, solid person. See, my mother and my grandmother raised me to say, not everybody's going to think like you think, buddy. They're going to think they're as right about what they think as you are. So you just need to be able to defend your right. They're no better than you. You're no better than them. So all that framing and shaping I got is really, I believe, what positioned me to just be chill. It's like, hey, I'm good with me. I hope you're good with you.
Wow.
Now, if you want to argue, we can argue. But what's that going to produce? And, we talked about this earlier. Then sometimes you don't know you have a gift until you're old enough to see it. And something now I teach, I coach CEOs, leaders, leadership teams is the power of acquiescence, right?
Tell me about that.
The willingness to make the other person the star of the show, the star of the conversation. I don't mind this because this is an interview, but this ain't normally how I roll.
Oh, really?
I'm normally, where are you from? Who's your mama?
Yeah,
Well, how'd you get into that? What do your kids do for fun? That's my normal MO. For me, the way I like to say it is the more I acquiesce, the better I acquiesce. See, you said I'm from Northeast Ohio. I go Shakers Heights, Medina.
Right.
I acquiesce.
Right.
Let's talk about where you're from.
Right.
Let me. So anything I share is going to be about who you are, what you're into, what you're about. Well, the more I acquiesce, the better I acquiesce because now I'm not learning from Dan's surface. I'm learning from Dan. I grew up 5 minutes from Medina. I'm getting Dan, who Dan is. So now the next time I talk to an NEO in Northeast Ohio, guess what? I got deeper level connections I make with them.
That's
right?
really good.
So that's what I mean by that notion of the more I acquiesce, the better I acquiesce. And the more I'm willing to share that spotlight and put it on others, the more I learn, the more I grow, right? I'll just share this one silly example, but for years I worked, 3 years in a row I was working with Cabela's, okay, the big, hunting, fishing, canoeing brand out in Sidney, Nebraska. Beautiful people, beautiful merchandise. And for 3.5 years, I worked with basically everybody at Cabela's. I was doing in-person training for senior leaders, virtual training for mid-managers, online training for store employees. So 16,000 people over 3.5 years.
Wow.
So Dan, for 3.5 years, what do you think I was acquiescing on? Hunting, fishing, canoeing, kayaking. Now, I'm going to give you something I don't normally do. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to stereotype.
Okay.
Do I look like a hunt fish?
All right. So this is a podcast. So people are listening to this if they're not watching it.
Hilarious.
No, you
No,
don't.
I
wouldn't put money.
I do not. No. I will not be up at 4 a.m. walking the grounds. That will not be me.
That's fair.
But man, for 3.5 years, I acquiesced on hunting, fishing, canoeing, kayaking. One day, 5 years after I worked with them, I get a call from Bass Pro, which bought Cabela's.
Yeah.
Long story made short, I was one of 2 finalists to get a massive contract with them. eating lunch with the head of HR, head of finance, head of diversity, and head of talent management. The head of HR shares a picture with the head of finance. He goes, "Wow, this is impressive." Hands it to the diversity guy. "Whoa, this is deep." Hands it to the talent management person. "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." Of course, I said, "Let me see the picture."
Yeah, what is it? What is it?
I see it, and I look at the head of HR, and I go, 35 pounder? And she goes, she opens her mouth. She's
she
looking
didn't
at
expect. She stereotyped you.
I said, "Got him with a bow?" Where'd you get him? About 40 yards out? She is looking at me like the picture was her with her hair pulled back, eye black, fatigues, behind a big old turkey she had bagged. Wow. I even know to use the word bagged.
Wow.
Do you think I'm going to be out somewhere bagging turkeys?
No, you don't know anything about that, man, except for what you heard.
But what I learned.
Yeah.
Largest contract in the history of my business.
That's awesome, man.
So that's, and I tell you, being in that setting where when I went to school every day as a 12-year-old, you described it beautifully. I was in one new world. So I was telling them about life in my housing project. When I went home, "D, you out there with them boys, man? What's it like out there, man? You out there at the school, dog? What you doing, man?" I could share that experience. So I always kind of became the man in the middle,
That's
right?
really good.
Leveraging my experience to educate, to inform, sometimes make people laugh.
It's like a muscle. Yeah,
That's exactly
That's really good. That's really good. Now, let me ask you a quick question. So most people aren't like you. Most people haven't had the luxury of being thrown into a situation where no one is like them and they have to learn, or maybe they have and they dealt with it poorly, right? Fair. So now they're like deeply insecure because they had a bunch of experiences in high school and middle school and whatever. So let's say that you're trying to coach someone, maybe one of our listeners, you're trying to coach them on how to really connect with people personally. But they have never had the natural opportunity to build the muscle. Where do they start? They've got an employee that's sitting in front of them. Let's say they're a boomer and they have an employee that's in front of them that's a millennial or that's Gen Z, or they're an American, born in the middle of Kansas, and they've got somebody who's born in Mexico, and now they have to work with them, and there's this cultural difference between these people, men, women, whatever. Where do they start?
So I'm a framework person.
Okay.
And what I mean by that, Dan, is I don't think people generally lack ability. They lack frames. They lack frameworks. They lack like multiplication is a framework. And once you learn 1 times 2, you can do 16,000 times 4,755. It's a frame. It's a framework, right? Well, the framework I use is care, understand, connect, influence.
Okay. Care, understand, connect, influence.
For me, leadership, the base of leadership is how much do I care about this person, this organization, these customers, this vision, or this mission.
That's where
it starts with care.
That's where it starts.
So to the degree I care, that will activate my willingness to even want to connect with you.
So if I don't care about you, if I genuinely do not care about your story and your life, that is a non-starter.
Massive uphill battle.
We cannot even move forward.
It's going to be real tough to build a bridge.
That's good.
So I often say to leaders, what can you do to shape, to invigorate your care muscle? Most of us don't care because somebody didn't care about or for us. You don't just wake up non-caring. It's usually some set of experiences that cause it. So usually when I'm working with a client, a CEO, it's about let's go back in time and find out what we need to do to strengthen that care muscle. That's the start of it.
Okay. So let me back up a second. I want to make sure that our listeners understand this and I understand this. So I've got Janet. She's in the cubicle next to me. Janet smells, Janet smokes, Janet swears. Janet is just a nasty person. Now, I'm sure in some, other universe that Janet has a bunch of people who love her. Jesus loves her. I cannot stand Janet. Now, Janet's fictional, but
I get it.
All right. Where am I starting with care muscles or am I starting with Janet? Like how are you helping me start with Janet?
So what I might do in that case, then my next layer is if you don't care about the person.
I don't care about Janet.
I got to find out what you do care about. You care about productivity.
Okay.
Well, there's no way you're going to get to productivity if you don't move her. Okay. So if we got to use the productivity as the care, that's what we're going to do. If we've got to use your boss told you you're not getting any more headcount for the next 6 months to a year, this is what you got.
That's what you got.
Okay. So I care about. So I got to find, ideally, I hope you care for the person. But if you don't, I got to find where can we make a connection with something you do care about, so you're incentivized to help this human being.
Okay.
The next word, understand.
That's good.
So I'll be 62 in September. All right.
You don't look 62, man.
Well, the check is in the mail, brother. I am old enough to remember. I'm gonna use a cuss word here, so tell your listeners. I don't know if they're used to cussing, but
they're not. But
here we go.
Do it.
Here we go.
Do it.
I am old enough to remember when two people, Dan, we used to use the phrase, they could be diametrically opposed on a view, and they could not only discuss those views, here we go, cuss word, they could argue.
Oh, jeez.
And still be friends.
Are you kidding me?
It was really that way, my friend. We live in a world now where if you don't agree with me, bye.
Yeah, right.
Right? I kick you to the outer sanctum of nothingness. Right? Leadership is not about agreeing with people. I ask this of married couples. Leadership is not about agreeing with people. You met somebody and married somebody who's the exact opposite of you. So it ain't about agreement. It's about understanding. So if I'm willing to take time to acquiesce, guess what I do? I accelerate my understanding of you. I could hate what you do, but when I understand why you do it, guess what it helps me do? It helps me connect.
Okay, let me back up a second. You just said a lot in a very short amount of time. So you said leadership is not about agreement, it's about understanding. Tell me the difference between agreement and understanding, because people struggle with that.
Jesus Christ did not like our fallen nature. Jesus doesn't like it when we do bad things.
Right.
But he understands why we do it. And it helps him build a bridge with us. Understanding says, I am figuring out why Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's earlobe plumb off. Did I think that was a vile, wicked, nasty thing? Heck yeah, I did. But you grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant having to fight every day of your life. You be physically assaulted, raped by someone maybe at age 5, age 10, age 12.
That's good.
You have the first person who really cared for you, really supported you, die at the peak of your boxing experience. You be pimped out by promoters. You buy a tiger. I really think it was the tiger that did it.
You think it was, yeah.
When your boy bought the tiger, I think that's what took him over the edge.
He's got a crazy story.
Wow, I thought that was one of the worst things I've ever seen a human do. I also watched Jim Lampley, who to me is the greatest boxing voice ever, show in the highlights how Evander Holyfield was hitting him below the belt 3 rounds in a row, and Tyson was telling the ref. Now, I don't know exactly where you're from, but I'm from the Blue Mountain Projects. When he did it that last round, I saw the look in Mike Tyson's face going back to the corner. You do that one more again, bruh, it's about to be on. And sure enough, they get in the clutch, boom, hits him low, bites him.
Starts biting him.
So I understand why he did that.
Makes sense.
Hated it. Didn't like it. But if I'm ever going to connect with Mike Tyson, connect with Janet, connect with that other human being, seeing why they act like this, seeing why they choose this, helps me know I'm going to talk about Harold Petty, who was a Golden Gloves boxer I grew up with in the Blue Mountain Projects, because that helps me connect with Mike.
Good. Okay, so DY, what you're saying makes sense. I think is 100% true. But there's somebody out there who's listening right now that says, okay, yeah, that's great. Like, I can understand smelling Janet, but man, I don't agree with it. But the understanding is short-sighted. They're like, I understand why, because she has no manners, because she was raised wrong, because she doesn't like showering. And so the understanding is really condemnation. Like, these are there's no empathy in their understanding.
You just said it, brother. You just said it. We could replace understanding with empathy. So you just the trigger word. It's not understanding to demonstrate your great.
Oh, I know why they're wrong. Let me tell you why they're wrong.
Massive, right? Yeah. It's to find a pathway so I can build a bridge. And when I focus on my understanding, I find out Janet was a setter in volleyball, just like I was. Wait, you were a setter? What? Who was your top hitter? I'm looking. There it is. There's something I can connect on. We both love baseball.
That's good.
So it helps the leader not get stuck in their own head, their own judgmentalism, right? And say, here's the pathway for connection. Because ultimately, my belief is leadership is influence. Ultimately, it's the ability to move someone to do something. And it's just hard to influence people we don't connect with.
That's right.
And it's hard to connect with people we don't understand. And it's even harder to understand people where we hadn't found some path or open pathway to care for them. Or like we said earlier, and if you can't care for them, care for something that impacts you based on their quality of commitment.
That's so good. That's so good. So DY, here we're at a couple different places, and this has been really good. You've given us your personal history and told us where this perspective developed naturally. Then you've told us about your experience actually teaching people this and what it looks like to develop frameworks so people understand why this is important. Land us on feedback. Now, I mean, because that literally is your thing, and we've spent zero time talking about it. So I'm excited to get into it. But all of these things kind of lead into when you give someone feedback, it really does matter how you feel about them before it even starts.
Constructive feedback is the most caring thing you can do.
I've got people who disagree. They'd be like loving and hugging and kissing, and that's the most caring thing you can do. Tell me why you say that.
So first and foremost, we are all imperfect. I don't even know why we waste time. I'm not perfect, as if I thought you were. I mean, like, really? Like, why do we? That's such a wasted phrase. What a waste of words. Like,
but look at me.
I thought Drake was perfect. I thought Jose was perfect. Man, you're ruining my image of you. But conceptually, you have children?
I do. I've got two beautiful girls.
What are their names?
Eden and Aniston.
Eden and Aniston. And they're how old?
They're 10 and 13 right now.
Imagine they're 3, they're 5, and you just prepared a beautiful meal. You've invited friends over, and the stove is still hot.
Okay.
And they are inquisitive. They're 5 and 2.
Yeah.
And there they go, heading toward the stove.
Fingers out.
They are ready. They got their burn units already.
Pre-burned fingers.
Hello. And you're sitting on the sideline looking at your friend going, oh, this will be good. Well, let's see what happens for this one. Yeah. You would be, the Department of Children's Services would come get you, lock you up, and send you away.
That's right.
You give feedback to somebody because you want them to be better. I say this all the time. Right now, Dan, I am deputizing you. You are my people now. If you see me doing a keynote somewhere, 1,000 people in the audience, and I'm saying leadership is the key to success, but if you're going to grow in your career, you've got to be more Pacific when you talk to people, because being Pacific, I want you to have a little light flashing in the audience going, DY, it's specific. That's an ocean, bruh. That's an ocean. You don't help me not giving me the feedback. If we're eating lunch, I have a restaurant here in Nashville, Bricktops. They have probably 10 locations around the country. Dan, they know me. When I sit down, they know I want a bed of spinach, blackened salmon well done, diced up strawberries, warm bacon vinaigrette. They already know.
Every time.
That's my jam.
Okay.
As I'm eating that lunch, if you look up, Dan, and you see a piece of lettuce in my teeth the size of New Hampshire, you can't have focus on eye contact because you're looking at me, looking at the lettuce, looking at me, looking at the lettuce. You are not my friend if you let me walk out that building with that lettuce in my teeth. That's not care. You know what that is? It's cowardice.
That's good.
Because you're afraid DY is not going to like me if I tell him he's got a hedge full of lettuce in his teeth.
That's good.
So the concept is I give you feedback because I care about you. But not only that, I teach this. There's 5 layers of feedback.
Okay.
Number 1, it helps the individual grow, improve. Number 2, it helps the team. Better player, better team. Number 3, it helps me, the leader, because everything in my portfolio rises and falls based on how well you do. So if I choose to not feedback you and it grows and it grows and it grows and it mushrooms and it explodes, guess who gets the call? I do. 4th layer of feedback is the organization. We got too many people, Dan, working in organizations who feel so invisible that they think, if I just write this little nasty phrase on this construction beam, it won't matter. $20 million lawsuit later, they found out it does. So I'm not just giving you the feedback for you. You are who we are. I teach this. The way you are perceived is our company. I work for ABC. Yeah, that's fair. I work at ABC. No, you are ABC.
That's good.
And then last is whoever you're serving. So when I give feedback, it would be uncaring to not impact all 5 of those layers by letting DY get up and say Pacific in front of a group of people.
That makes a ton of sense. And I'm right there with you.
If you and I were hanging out for any length of time, you would start to hear almost right away one of my personal passions. I love helping executives, entrepreneurs, and owners build businesses that benefit their communities. And if that's you, if you're building something that's going to make a difference in your community, I would love to help you with that. I would love to have my organization, Branches, help you with that. Make sure you click the link in the show notes and tell us a little bit more about what we can do to help you. We work with people all over the globe, helping them fine-tune their businesses, helping them generate more revenue, helping them figure out how to lead their teams with excellence. I'd love to help you do the same thing.
Now, let me play the devil's advocate again. Let's
never be the devil's advocate. He don't need no more advocates. he good. Yeah, so give me another one.
Let me play the opposite side of this.
Come on, bro. Let
me give you the counter.
He's doing his job well. Yeah.
So, there's the woman that I'm not a fan of. I need to give her some sort of constructive feedback, but ultimately, if I care about her, I will give her that feedback based on what you're saying. But I'm actually not sure whether or not what she's doing is right or wrong. I mean, I have an inkling.
Yeah.
I kind of know, but there's a gray area, right? So when a lot of people go to give feedback, if they are confident that what they're about to say is true, then it makes it 100 times easier. You said Pacific instead of specific. Right. You have spinach in your teeth. What happens when I actually kind of don't really know? Boy, and I'm like good. Right there in between.
You ought to teach interview school, man. You're excellent. This is where I teach all leaders should have a support group. And the support group has 3 elements.
Okay.
Element 1 is a board of advisors. People you can call on for counsel, brainstorming.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever dealt with a situation like this? So have advisors. Right. When my wife and I learned from her doctor that our youngest child might have Down syndrome. Okay. When we learned she might have Down syndrome.
But you weren't sure yet.
I called my friend Elise McMillan, who was the number 3 person at the Vanderbilt Kennedy Center in Nashville that works with persons with special needs. And Elise has a son with Down syndrome.
Oh, wow.
She's been my advisor ever since. Christiana's 21 years old now.
Wow.
When my sons became adults, my pastor is my adult son advisor. He's got 2 sons who are 50 and 48. So who's advising you? So if you're not sure if what you want to say to Janet is on point or right, get with one of your advisors. Get some counsel. I have a lot of platitudes. You know this because I'm a speaker. And one of my platitudes is seeking counsel is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. So that's where second layer of your support group is what I like to call your blind spot team. In the 70s, they used to use the term pull you by your coat, which meant something not right. I can literally pull your jacket to get your attention and say, that's not working. That ain't going well. You came off a little too harsh right there. So if you've got some blind spot team people, they can maybe step in and speak to what feedback you need to give and what might be the real issue at play.
That's good.
And then last, for what it's worth, because I always share it in your support group, is your blow steam team. A lot of times,
say that again.
You got to have a blow steam team.
I've never heard that before.
Now, listen, man, I'm no doctor. You look me up, you're going to see Derek D.Y. Young. No, E.D., M.D., I'm just a dude. D-U-D-E. There's my letters.
There you go.
All right. My personal opinion, stress is the #1 killer in America. I'm a Marvel guy. Just saw Spider-Man. That's kind of a comeback. Some of these other
really?
Marvel
Yeah.
movies, not feeling them.
Did the last one just come out?
Yikes. Yeah. Yeah.
When did it come out?
Spider-Man yesterday, bro.
Did it really?
Yeah, I'm going back tonight.
How good is it?
Yeah, it's excellent.
Okay.
I knew the Hulk was going to show up, but I'll just leave it
Hold
at
on.
that.
Okay, so you're comparing. We were just talking about this. So those of you who don't know, we were talking about this a little bit before. You're going to compare the movie F1 to Spider-Man. Which one?
So scale of 0 to 10.
Yeah, F1 is like
F1
You
is
saw
a
that.
9.
You saw that 4 times.
I saw Formula F. Now I'm a Formula One fan.
Okay.
So you got to add that.
All right.
F1 is a 9. Spider-Man is a 7.5.
Really?
But it's good.
Did you see Odyssey?
I did not, because when they said 3 hours, I was like, I'm gonna have to.
I'm out.
That's a little odd for me to be somewhere for 3 hours.
That's good.
But I heard it's good.
It's really good. Okay, I'm gonna watch it this weekend then. That's great, man. Good. All right, so you're talking about Spider-Man. You went to see a movie. Where were we talking about?
You have to remember.
Well, you were talking about the Blow Steam team.
Blow steam
right?
team. Yeah. And that's right. So basically, stress is a killer. That's what I was saying about it being like a super villain is what I was going to say.
Okay.
But basically, a blow steam team are people you can call to literally get things off your chest.
And that's what they know. They know they're there for that.
Yeah.
Man, that's good.
So 3 things.
Wow.
Number 1, Dan, they need to be confidential. Because I'm going to be talking about some of everything when I start blowing steam.
Yep.
Number 2, no stupid people on your blow steam team.
Okay.
Because steam and stupid, that's not a good mix.
What do you mean by that?
Hey, man, what you should do is go down there and get in her face. Bruh, I'm the director of quality.
Yeah. I'm just talking, man. Like, don't give me instructions on how to go get in jail, right?
Not back in the hood. We can't rise up on folk, roll up on people. But then number 3, no big fish people. And big fish people are those who, no matter what you say, Dan, they got to top it.
Story.
Well, what am I getting at? When you can get things off your chest and not be so pent up, guess what? You're in a better position to give some honest, constructive feedback.
Really good.
Guess what? You're in a better position to see and understand the real issue at play with you and this person.
That's really good.
Right? So that would be my counsel.
Let me hit back on that Blow Steam team for 2 reasons. Number 1, I've never heard that before. It's just a catchy Blow Steam team. So I like that. You should trademark that. That's really good.
Yep.
Number 2, there are a lot of people who are listening to this, not everybody, who would call themselves a Christian leader.
Yep.
And they'd say, look, I'm trying to lead with the values of Christ. And one of the things that they try to avoid more than anything is gossip.
Right.
Right. And so what that leads to, based on what I hear you saying, is just like pent up frustration.
That's it.
You're saying, look, have a Blow Steam team. Have a place where you can go, where the people in the room already know
That's right.
that you are there just to blow steam. You're going to say all kinds of terrible things.
Well said.
But it is not who you are. It's not who you're trying to be. You just need to get that out in the moment.
I am a person, I'm an individual with an opinion. This is for Christians. I can't speak to other faiths. Sure. I can speak to people generally, but I'm talking about Christians.
Right.
I still believe there is power in the interdependence of believers. We all pray to the Lord. We all meditate. We all confess the word. But I just think sometimes you just kind of got to talk to another person.
Yeah, right.
So I see a lot of Christian leaders because I've been blessed to work in every sector, corporate, private, government, education, nonprofit, religious. So I work everywhere.
Yep.
And a group that I see basically taking that stress to their grave is pastors and leaders of religious organizations because they feel that I've got to be the perfect person. That's the last thing you need to be. You need to be laying on Jesus to me more than anybody.
That's good.
So having those, you don't need 10, you just need a few.
Right.
Those trusted advisors who are a safe place where, let's say your name is Joe Smith. You are Reverend Joe Smith, where you could just be JoJo.
Right.
You just need a JoJo.
And nobody's there to get advice from you.
No.
They're not asking you about the latest scripture. They're not giving you criticism on your sermon.
No.
You are just, and they love you.
That's right.
They're just not impressed by you.
That's exactly.
You are who you are.
Spot on.
That's really good, man.
Whether you like LeBron James or not.
No, come on now. There's only one. There's only one answer. To that.
There's
only one answer.
I know there's some won't relate. I mean, there's only you will, but I'm just wanting to just put it out there.
I mean, you better be careful where you go next.
Whether you don't feel LeBron James and he's not your guy, I believe one of his greatest assets is he has surrounded himself with people who can keep it LeBron 100.
Man. That's good. I would agree.
Brian, I knew you when you used to blow your nose backwards. I mean, he's surrounded himself with dudes that can keep it real with him.
Okay, so I am a LeBron fan, but I'm going to say this without glazing on LeBron. I like that you brought that up. it is remarkable to see some of the people that he's brought in his circle and how their game has grown with his game. Like he has people like business advisors that were just like the dude down the street when he was 18 that he brought them in and suddenly they are like on top of a multi-billion-dollar company. It's crazy how they have grown with him.
I said that to somebody. I thought I had made a very good point. They still weren't feeling it. I said, I see LeBron the same way I see Oprah. Do you know all of Oprah's advisors now are multi-millionaire celebrity household names?
Yep.
She was going to Dr. Phil
Right.
for herself.
Right.
Who doesn't know Dr. Phil?
Right.
Nate Berkus was just doing lampshades.
Dr. Oz? Yeah.
I could go down. So leadership, my opinion, I say this.
Come on.
We wouldn't be here without Martin Luther King and everybody who was in the civil rights movement, black, white, otherwise. But you know the thing I think that's rarely talked about Dr. King is everybody who worked with him became a legendary leader.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Everybody.
That's right.
There's some leaders, the only person we know is that person. I'm not gonna call no names, but that's the only person we know. I could go Shuttlesworth, Jackson. I could go on for hours.
Yep.
All of them rose. All of them became great, right? So again, conceptually, that blow steam team, that blind spot team, that advisory board, you don't do it because you're perfect. You do it because we all need help.
That's right.
We all need help. We all have bad days. When my mother died, my mother was my girl, man. I had one argument with my mother. One. And you know when it was? It was the day she got a feeding tube put in because of the ALS. She couldn't swallow, couldn't breathe well. So she had to get a feeding tube. And the people at the hospital, Dan, made the mistake of telling Jenny Young she was going to be discharged at 4. Why did they tell my mama that? Because at 3:58, my mom was yanking IVs out of her arm and getting ready.
Man, it sounds like my mom. That's crazy.
I snapped on my mom. I snapped on my mama at St. Louis University Hospital.
Did you? Yeah.
When my mother died, I haven't been the same person since. And don't even want to be the same person. And things I would do fluidly, things I would do just without thinking, I needed a little help. I had to call some folks. I had to get some stuff off my chest. Then my mother, listen to me, man, the only time my mother ever been in a hospital is September 1964 when I was born.
Oh, wow.
My mother had never.
Wow. So she wasn't used to that.
Not NEVER, NEVA. My mother had never been sick.
Right.
And suddenly my uncle, her brother, and I noticed the slippage in how she was speaking, and we thought it was a stroke, but they told it was ALS. My mother, not one time did she write, because she couldn't speak, she had to write, why is this happening to me? Not one time.
That's good.
I, on the other hand, was asking it a lot. So I needed some people to step in and kind of keep a brother held up. And that's the way I see it.
You know, DY, that's really important to talk about. We're just going to sit on that for a second. We're going to get to more feedback in a second, but we're living in a generation, and every generation has their problems, but we're living in a generation now where loneliness, isolation is probably more rampant than it's, I want to say, maybe ever been.
I agree with you.
And there's been a lot of stuff that's happened through history. I love history, but loneliness is the thing right now. There's that. On top of the pressure to excel, to get to higher levels of excellence, to really maximize your life, like that's also very, very high.
Yep.
So you combine those two things, what you have is a lot of people at very high levels that are incredibly lonely. Executives, owners, entrepreneurs that don't have a blow steam team, and they don't even know where to start. They're like, do I go to my pastor? Because if I do, he's intimidated. She's intimidated. Do I go to my mom? Like, well, clearly, my wife, my husband. If they were going to try to form that team, and again, this all comes back to you getting a better perspective as a leader so that you can make better calls, right? You're surrounding yourself with the right people. If you were going to start with a blow steam team, because it sounds cool, and you're like, let's start with a blow steam team, where do you start?
So, you know, the first thing I would say about the blow steam team specifically, and there's two words, they're interchangeable. One word is a little more harsh than the other, but I would say be careful and also be selective how much steam you blow with your pillow partner.
Yeah, that's good.
Whoever you share that pillow with, be careful how much steam you blow with them. Because what you don't want is you don't want to blow so much steam that they give you advice from a place of anger. They hate your boss five
Just like you
times
do.
more than
You should
do.
quit.
Anger-based advice ain't good. So that's just one caveat. I would just be real selective how much steam you blow with the person who loves you the most.
There needs to be some objectivity.
Yes, sir.
They need to be able to, for that one reason, they need to be able to give you just genuine advice. Yeah, that's good.
So what I get to do with coaching groups I work with or individual leaders I work with is just give them first, in me, the coach, a safe place to even talk about it.
Okay.
You said a mouthful just a minute ago, and I want to get in on it because it matters. I believe most people think you find out who your friends are when you're doing the worst you've ever done. You down on your luck. As my grandmother say, you ain't got a buck. I get that, Dan. That ain't what I teach. I believe, Dan, you ain't gonna find out who your friends are till you're doing the best you've ever done in your life. Have the #1 podcast in the country. Mr. Dan, Mr. Podcast. Was that a new Lexus? Is that the Lexus PPPQQQ?
I'm telling you, that's real.
Dude, you don't even know who your friends are till you killing it. Until you hit a new level
And
of
that's
everything.
when you're isolated like you've never been before.
So that's a place I start with clients.
That's good.
Let's talk through who you deep down believe is for you. Good,
They're cheering for you.
bad,
Yeah.
or indifferent.
Wow.
I'd rather have you one person who's really for you than 3 who are basically just trying to scoot you in close enough to get the dirt to know how they can bring you down. So sometimes people need help with that.
Yeah,
they
that's
do.
good.
Because we are in a society, we are in a culture where we are more competitive with each other than we are caring and supportive.
And there's a lot of reasons for that, but I would 100% agree with you there.
Sometimes that blow steam partner might not be the person you would automatically assume. Meaning it might be an aunt who's 78 years old.
Oh, wow. She didn't have a dog in the fight.
Doesn't have a dog in the fight. Auntie, can I just tell you something? What is it, son? There is a guy in my group. He's the VP of sales. He looks like Adonis, but he's dumb as a rock. I just don't know. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like to me is maybe you need to just think about it a little.
That's good.
So one, be open to your blow steam team being somebody kind of from an unorthodox position.
That's really
just
good.
be ready for that.
That's really good.
I think secondly, well, this is really third thing I would say is remember, this isn't somebody you're going to be talking to often. So they don't have to be near. They don't have to be somebody you see a lot. It's just going to be in those moments. So literally what I found, Dan, is in sharing that perspective, it loosens people. Oh, okay. I was thinking this is somebody I talk to all the time.
That's really good.
Probably not. Now, look,
really good.
if you got to blow that much steam, you might need to reevaluate what you're doing.
Yep.
Where blowing steam has to be a regular recurring thing. Are you in the right level? Are you in the right lane? Are you with the right people? Then the other thing I would say about that is I think, again, blowing steam is preparing the person for the conversation. You did it because you're like that. You get this type of stuff. Hey, not looking for a bunch of advice, not looking for a 7-point strategic plan. So prep them for it. And it better positions them to now, ask.
Okay.
Rather than advise.
Right.
See, that's why you have your advisory group for advice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Those
good.
are some suggestions.
That's fantastic. All right. So now here's what I've done. I have already now taken the time to try to connect with Smelly Janet. And I'm like, all right, so I figured out why she does what she does. I've empathized with her. I've tried to understand us going back to that situation. I've tried to understand what she's doing, why she does it, try to connect with her. And it's just making me mad. So I turn around and I go to Aunt Gladys in California and I call her up and I'm like, I cannot stand Smelly Janet. So Aunt Gladys kind of walks me off the ledge. She's on my blow steam team. Everything's great. Now I'm ready to go have a conversation with Janet, right? Tell me how I give that person feedback. How do I start? How do I create those details? How do I help her understand? How do I finish?
Boy, this is good, brother. I am very excited to tell you that somewhere in late August, I'm going to launch a new website. I've had the same website for since Truman was president.
This is a big deal.
It's just been it's a nice
It was
website.
one of the first websites when Truman was president. That's good, man.
Website 01. But yeah, it's a big deal. I'm launching a site. And one of the things on the site are what I call survival guides.
Okay.
And a survival guide is basically a template I've created to help you walk through some of the major recurring things you have to do as a leader.
That's good.
Like
That's good.
give constructive feedback.
Okay.
So here's the whole model.
Yep.
You ready?
Give it to me.
Number one, you've got to specify the required perceptions for the job.
Okay.
Janet, I'm just not a morning person. I'm just not. I've just never been a morning person. Sometimes why maybe I come off like I do is even as a child. Janet, you're the director of morning engagement. What the heck? You don't give feedback to the person, you give feedback to the position. As the director of morning engagement, you need to be perceived as outgoing, friendly, affable.
This would be the expectation of anyone who would be in this position as well.
This ain't about you.
Oh, yeah.
This about the position.
Job, right.
So you give specific, I started to say Pacific, but I didn't know if you were going to say me.
I was going to correct you.
You give specific feedback. Hey, Janet, over the last 3 months, we've had 7 people from 4 different areas mention that they felt uncomfortable based on your personal presence, style, aroma, if that's the right word,
Right.
blah, 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 blah,
Here's
blah.
the feedback. Yeah.
That's unacceptable for the director of morning engagement.
Wow. Because if the director of morning engagement smells, therefore, they won't be effective at their job.
Bingo. So this ain't about you. It's about the perception of the people you work with and serve. My job as the leader is to protect your perception.
So good. Let me tell you how people see you.
So now I'm going to do what I call a takeaway. You know what a takeaway is?
Yeah.
Hopefully I know Janet well enough, Dan, that I can anticipate what she's going to say when I start giving her this feedback.
Okay.
All right. I could give you 10 categories, but we don't have time. But there's basically 10 basic things people do when they get feedback they don't like, agree with, or want to hear. One of them is what have you done for me lately? So today I'm not doing my job as director of morning engagement, but when you needed somebody to work overtime, suddenly I wasn't so stinky then. So I know she's going to say that, Dan. I already know it. So you know what I'm going to do? Hey, Janet, let me tell you something. When it comes to this team, when it comes to somebody who is willing to go above and beyond the call of duty, working overtime, working extra, that's you. And in that same way that you are willing to do that, I want to offer you some feedback today where I hope you'll take that same mindset. Bam.
Wow.
I take it away.
Wow.
We're not talking about you being willing to work overtime.
Yep.
We're not talking about you train. Oh, is this Dan talking to me? The one I think I trained 7 years ago before he became our supervisor? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, listen, Janet, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I wouldn't be in this position without you.
That's good.
You train. I'm taking it away.
That's
Because
good.
what am I trying to do, Dan? I'm trying to keep the main thing.
That's really good.
So I say, so Janet, now what do? I layer in what I know about Janet's aspirations. And I show her, I know you, Janet. Hey, Janet, when you joined my team 3 years ago, you transferred from Billy's team and you came back over to me. You know, one of the first things you said was in your future, you said you wanted to be a supervisor. I believe you can be a supervisor.
You still can.
At the same time, there's some things we've got to fix.
That's keeping you from doing it. That's good.
So now so framework. So what's our plan? Not what you gonna do. What's our plan? What steps will you take? Here's some things I'm thinking about that we can. If you aren't willing to give me a development plan, it's like somebody saying, I want to marry you without an engagement ring.
That's good. That's good.
What we doing?
What's the commitment here? Yeah.
But the beauty of a development plan is now, if for some reason Janet never comes around, first word HR is going to ask for. Well, where's your documentation? Oh,
here it is.
here's the tip.
This is the day we talked about it. Here's what she said. This is how she smelled. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
That's the
DY, that is great. And that is so good that even as you're talking, I'm afraid for people who are going into situations where they have to give feedback and they don't have
They're
that
not
advice.
armed. I agree.
Because
They're
then now
not
that
prepared.
they're walking into a machine gun where they're going to say something to Janet and all of a sudden they're just going to be hit with, do you think why do you know, and who do you think you, all that, man.
Real talk.
That's really good. That's really good. I imagine the advice you're giving is unbelievably helpful. Can you tell me any success stories that you've experienced where people have learned to give? One of the things that we tell our team at branches, and we say this to our companies that we work with all the time, like if you learn how to give feedback in a constructive way, that is like a leadership superpower.
I agree.
Giving negative feedback to people in a way that makes them feel better about themselves,
I agree.
is like literally the number one thing.
Totally agree.
You can do that, you will go up the ladder so fast.
Totally agree.
It's unbelievable. Tell me some success stories.
One of my favorites is fairly recent. I was working with a community college. The president of the college, I had worked with her when she was the number 2 at another school.
Okay.
So she goes to the school. She goes, whoo, once she gets there, this place, this is rough. Give me about 6 months to find my way, and then I'm calling you. When I went to this school, so I started working at 20, be 60. Well, I started working at 14, but corporate at 20, 62 in September. So 42 years.
There you go.
All right.
That's good.
Worst culture I've ever seen. I've seen people do maybe more shouting and cussing. I've seen people do maybe more sabotaging things, but just in terms of a group of human beings feeling sad and depressed about their workplace.
Wow.
They had multiple presidents in a short span, each one worse and more mean than the previous. It was bad. Well, we did a program. I call it Framing Your Leadership Legacy.
They brought you in?
Yeah. Framing your, see, this is the new person, the president.
Okay.
Who I worked
I'm
with
like,
before.
why would they don't care about culture?
That's
Clearly.
exactly right. No.
Okay.
And we trained all 230 people, and we taught them that process I just shared with you. We taught them the 5 layers of feedback. We taught them the way you are perceived. All the things you hear me say are part of this whole model. In 2 years, 2 annums, they went from worst culture I've ever seen to Tennessee College of the Year.
Wow. Turnaround.
People said I had stopped wearing my logo wear.
Wow.
I had stopped telling people to register their kid at our school. I had stopped using the college's name out loud in public areas to best enrollment, best financial performance. And it started with this statement: accountability without consequence is only conversation. If you ain't willing to apply, and we don't say negative consequences. No, that's counterproductive. We say corrective consequences. The feeling will be negative when the consequence hits. Oh, you can't represent us in the community anymore if 4 out of 10 of your students think you're rude. No. So you got tenure. Okay, can't do that, but you sure not going to represent us in the community. Okay, I'll change. If you're not willing to apply, you have 2 children. Your children, without you telling them, knew which parent was the get over parent and which was the parent who's going to hold them accountable. You would think it's like a conference they have. Okay, everybody, the way you're going to know the parent to get over on. No, they don't need a conference. It's innate. I know who's going to hold me accountable and who's not. Employees are the same way. I've got a person, I can't tell you the organization, but let's just say they carry guns for a living. And they deal with the worst of the worst in our society. I can tell you that much. I coach a lot of their leaders. They said, DY, we got a person, was our top person 2 years in a row. I go, well, what's the problem? But they're mean as a snake.
Oh, topping the wrong way. Yeah.
Can you work? You bet. So I said to the person who was this person's superior, I said, I'm going to tell you something, and it's going to hurt, but I got to tell you. What's that, DY? I said, I know you're a big fan of basketball. He said, oh, yeah, I love basketball. I said, I know that. I know that about you. I said, when you made this top law enforcement person a supervisor, I said, you know what you did? He goes, what? I said, you made Michael Jordan the coach of the team. Can you imagine Michael Jordan being he'd be slapping the players?
Hey, did you see what he did to Kwame Brown and the Wizards? He did slap him, like literally made him cry. And like
That's as the anyway.
that's as a player, as an owner. Yeah, right. That's exactly right. That's a good point.
I said we can't do that anymore because what you're telling your people is I value results over people. That's not what you're saying with your words. You're saying it with your actions. So I meet this person, and I said, "Here's how we're going to start your coaching relationship." I said, "If you want me to coach you, I need you to go to your boss's boss, all your direct reports, and 4 peers. And I want you to ask them, here we go today, how do you want to perceive me in this job?" And I said, if you aren't willing to do that, I can't be your coach. Well, I'm talking to Michael Jordan. He was like, not only will I do it, I'll do the best version of it you ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
The people, ready for this, were willing to be honest with him because they knew now there's a covering related to this feedback being given. Every single person. Notice what I said. I didn't say, how do they perceive you? See, that's what got him into the coaching. How do they want to perceive you? He came back with a 2-page report. DY, he said, I was mortified by the feedback. I just thought I was being excellent. I said, you were, but you were wanting everybody to be excellent the same way you're excellent. Then he totally opened up. We started that engagement 9 months ago. 4 months ago, his superior called me and said, man, I don't know what you said to him, but he's the guy people be go, here he comes.
That's really good.
Here he comes.
That's good.
But now he recognized that I need to change not the standard, but how I what? Apply the standard. And man, that guy, it's a 180-degree turnaround.
There's something that you're saying that you're actually not saying. I want to hit on it just for a second. You've done it 3 times now. The first time you talked about I think it was the first time, you talked about the professor and you said, hey, we are not going to give you any more opportunities to represent us in public.
Right.
Right. Another time you did it just now was where you talked specifically about what it looks like for that employee to get feedback from everybody around them.
Right.
And to finally understand how they're perceived.
Right.
You did it again when we were given the example of Janet, and you said to Janet, hey, look, let me tell you how people perceive you.
Right.
You're using social pressure.
That's right.
You're using peer pressure.
That's right.
You're using self-perception.
Yep.
Their own sense of identity.
That's right.
They think they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
Yep.
And then you show them that they're like 4 feet tall and full of holes.
That's right.
And that you're not like attacking them. You're just saying, let me give you a mirror.
Right.
And show you what reality looks like based on what your peers think.
Well said, brother. What we're doing with feedback visually, to take what you just said, Dan, we're not sitting on the other side of the table. We're the tailor showing them what this new suit is going to look like in the mirror once it's finished. That's what we're doing.
That's good.
And when people feel it like that, they're more open to receive it.
Yeah.
But if you're across the table, let me tell you the 9 things wrong with you. Number 1.
Wow.
Number 2. Now, when it's like, well, you look at that, you see how that's draping off your shoulder once we get that thing. You want to take it in a little bit more? Yeah, I think I do. That's what a leader does.
That's good.
And as believers, I know not everybody is a believer, but if you are, that's what makes Jesus so phenomenal. Whether you're 6'3", 210 pounds, whether you're 5'1" and 190, doesn't matter. He gets on the other side of that mirror with you and helps you find what's the best way to set this up to get you to be the best version of you. We're going to take this in a little bit. No stripes, not quite you. Let's go with a plain. Let's go with a bit more of a pattern.
Wow.
That's what leadership is.
Wow.
That's what we should be doing with our kids.
That's a great analogy.
That's what we should be doing with our people.
Wow.
Right? And when people feel safe,
come on,
that's when they open up. I have a reputation with this agency. So he went in knowing DY is a guy they bring in to work with senior executives. So he already had that. But he was good with them. Is he going to be good with me? And when I told him, I said, you know what you and I have in common? He said, what? I said, bluntism. He goes, bluntism? I said, yeah, man, I grew up being very just straightforward, blunt. And I had to learn So I let them know, I'm just like you, dog.
I've been there.
Hey, man.
Suits didn't fit.
Hey, man, you know, we all need a little help every now and then.
Yeah.
Right? And I just find that when we can make it really about the other person, that's when the acceleration happens.
So good. Man, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Appreciate you, brother.
This is really good. DY, you were the first guest, and I'm going to say you were the best guest we've ever had. Man, you killed it. Yeah, I'm going to be 100% genuine with you. Thank you for taking the time to go deep and to really understand how this works, and then taking the time to teach people about it. You know what you're talking about, and you've helped a lot of people, man. Kudos to you.
Thank you, sir. And just my hats off to you. This is our first meeting, but I could tell we're, brothers from a different mother right off the bat of our conversation. And anything I can do, you're my people now.
Yeah, man.
And all that means is, Dan, anything I can do to help you, I will do it. And if I can't do it, I probably have a network where I can find somebody who can do it.
Good,
So
so good.
God bless you, man.
Thanks, man. I
Yes.
appreciate you.